Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into our time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the inner sanctum.
Crime drama from New York City. Detective Danny Clover, played by Larry Thor, Broadway is My Beat, in the Floyd Decker Murder Case, originally broadcast August 1st, 1954.
Broadway's My Beat, from Times Square to Columbus Circle, the gaudiest, the most violent, the lonesomest mile in the world.
Broadway's My Beat, a thrilling drama of murder and mystery and the people who walked the Great White Way, with Larry Thor as Detective Danny Clover.
Beginning of August, the month of the steam heat, and Broadway staggers up to a corner, leans against a lamppost, bewildered. Where are the summer dreams as concerns Far Rockaway and the seashore and the girlies in the two-piece suits? Where the sun and the you-kissed golden girl who filled the ticklish part of your brain? There on the poster offering you a glass of beer. So have a drink with her and hit the sidewalks again. And walk again. September and another dream aren't far away. And at police headquarters, the municipally conditioned air and the man in the suit for the occasion.
Silk seersucker, boys, the latest weave. You like it, Muggerman?
Dandy. And what do you call the color?
Oh, this eggshell. Eggshell. Hey, it's a nice blend, huh, with the pale pink shirt, huh? Think so, Danny?
I'm sorry you mentioned it. I was going to point it out.
All right, so you're going to hold me or are you not going to hold me? Because if the former, I would like to give you instructions as to the care of these garments, because
What are you talking about, Mike?
Huh?
The lieutenant asked what you're talking about.
Look, don't speak to me like I'm an idiot. I asked you a simple question.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
Throw him out, Muggerman.
Wait till I wash my hands. I don't want to get the garment.
Okay, all right, okay, I'm going. I drop in here friendly, in 2 minutes flat, you hate me.
Mike?
What?
Come back here, Mike. What's this all about? Why'd you come down here and ask whether we wanted to hold you?
Because if you don't, I got to go to Atlantic City. You see, we carbonated beverage people, we are having a convention.
Nobody's questioned whether you're legitimate or not, Mike.
Well, thank you, thanks. Well, it's just this way, Danny. You see, Floyd Decker murdered. I figured that you
who
want to
murdered?
question... Floyd Decker. And me and him lumped together under the title gangster in the old days.
When was he murdered?
Huh?
When was he...
Wait. You mean that you don't know?
No.
Ooh. I'm beginning to see the light. Boys, I am
When was he
beginning to-
murdered?
Listen, the word on the street is that he got it. 3 days he's been gone from wherever he usually comes to, and the word is that he ain't no more.
Once more, Mike, why'd you come here?
Well, Floyd and I, we had an argument a few days ago, and he getting bumped, you know. I figured that you'd want to talk to me before I sat in convention at Atlantic... Ain't found the body yet, huh?
Oh.
Well, what am I talking to you like I'm an idiot for? Boys, goodbye.
Take it easy.
Don't pinch the silk seersucker, Muggerman. No body, no murder, no nothing. Me neither. I'll send Taffy.
Tableau, then, of hot room and bewildered policemen, and the whir of an electric fan, the irate motorist 2 stories down. Background for the shattering question,
You think he lost his marbles?
followed by the glassy stare.
Okay, I'll find out.
2 hours later, followed by the phone call,
He wasn't kidding, Danny. Word has it that Floyd Decker is dead. Murdered.
followed by 36 hours, and then the river.
Now take a look, Danny.
Yeah.
Floyd?
Yeah, it's Floyd Decker, all right.
Been in the water 3-4 days.
How was he found?
You see that kid over there? The one on the piling getting ready to dive?
Yeah.
He can hold his breath for 90 seconds. During a small contest where the kid just moved in the neighborhood, he saw Floyd midway up, bumping against the pier.
Okay.
You want to talk to Mike Paulus now?
Uh-huh. Call Atlantic City and have the police relay the message that I'd like to talk to him.
You don't have in mind sending anybody down to Atlantic City to see Mike gets back, do you?
No, in a word.
Well, in another word, my wife wouldn't let me go anyhow. Who won, Lieutenant?
Hi.
Have a seat, Mike. How's the convention going?
You know how these things go.
Oh, then I'm not dragging you away.
You are not dragging me away from anything. You understand that, don't you?
Now, look.
Look, I got word that you wanted to see me, and I ducked the caucus should we go into canned soda pop, and I got the first train in, only on account of you requested me. Requested me, Danny, not dragged.
Requested you.
Yeah, okay.
We found Floyd Decker.
I heard.
Fished him out of the East River.
I heard.
Stabbed him in the back and thrown in the river. You said you had an argument with him.
That's right.
About what?
Money?
Well, come on, tell me about it.
Well, you know Floyd. You know his background nearly as good as me.
What's he been doing?
Well, you know he's been on 11 weight 5-6 years, eh?
Yeah.
Well, I went up on the same rap with him, Danny, income tax. Only I got out a few years earlier because I am nicely behaved, be it the penitentiary or be it a parlor. And you know Floyd...
Not very well.
Well, he's impetuous.
Impetuous.
Yeah, I'd have got it myself if he gave me time. Well, he gave the feds all sorts of trouble, you see, so he didn't join us until his full 20 years. Now, you ask what's he doing, so I answer. He's been a bum.
Oh?
A panhandling bum.
That's how he lived, huh?
Yeah.
And the argument you had with him?
It's about dough. I got tired of giving him handouts like everybody else.
Everybody else?
On the street, everybody else. Listen, Floyd was the type of fella can best be described as misfit. You can ask your head shrinker how many of those there are around.
You got any idea who killed him?
No.
Anybody you know didn't like him enough to...
Everybody.
Why?
Well, all the world hates a failure. Let me put it this way. All the world feels sorry for a failure until they got to bail him out, and then all the world hates a failure.
People on the street got tired of supporting him, is that it?
Well, I would say that that's an apt appraisal of the situation, yeah.
When did the word first get out that he was murdered?
Let's see. When it would be, about last Monday. Danny, that'd be about it. So, as soon as he didn't show up one day with the outstretched hand, everybody was going, uh-huh.
Meaning that somebody stabbed him in the back and put him in the East River.
Also an apt appraisal.
Yeah. Last make we had on him was a boarding house in the Bowery, Mike, but it's old. He's been gone from there for a couple of years.
Well, I wouldn't know where he lived.
Also, his sheet says he had a wife.
Yeah, Alma.
Yeah, that's right, Alma.
Well, I'd canvass the bars along 3rd, Danny. I would look for a blonde, turning gray, dyed back to blonde. She's kind of tall, kind of slender, and kind of tired. She's kind of an inside laugher and crier. She's likable. She drinks 3rd Avenue scotch and never gets loaded. It's a nice woman. Likable.
Then he offered his hand, made the clasp, and the smile of good citizenship, proffered the breath of gin and taffy, and went out again to find a train to find the world of Atlantic City again. Legwork now. The bars of 3rd Avenue, alternate establishments between hand laundries, delicatessens, used furniture, used bric-a-brac, used clothing, and good-as-new women's wear. The bars of 3rd Avenue, which progress from respectability to the thin edge of limbo. Pose the name Alma Decker, also description, and get the shake of the head, the shrug, and sometimes the thumb jerk over the shoulder. Downtown, further downtown, mister. And where 3rd began to leave the village, where the afternoon drunks sought the shady gutters and draftiest halls, in a bar wedged between a fire-gutted building and an herbologist, there was a woman seated at a table.
Sure. My name's Alma,
she said, holding high the glass and trying to find the sunlight through it. Finding something else and hating it.
And him? This boy seated across from me and adoring me?
I do adore you, Alma, very much.
His name is Edwin.
My name is Edwin Hempel, a man's man. Drink it down. Drink it down, drink it down.
Sit down, Edwin. He's drunk. What's your name?
Danny Clover.
Cop?
Mm-hmm.
About my husband?
That's right.
What about him?
Did you kill him?
He's dead, huh? Hey, Edwin. Floyd's dead. Did you hear me?
I drink him a toast. A man's...
Oh, shit.
What'd you do that for?
Where'd they find Floyd?
what'd you do that for anyway?
The river.
That's nice. Some of our best friends have been found in the river, Danny. Of course, not recently, but there was a day when Floyd was up.
Yeah, I heard.
I'm nice. I'm nice to you. Please don't do that again.
What's this boy doing here?
Please,
Ask
please,
him.
please.
I swear I haven't quite figured it out myself.
You.
I'm nice to her.
He's been to college.
I've had a year of college, sir.
Edwin.
Yes, Elmer? Let's not be ridiculous, that's all. I quote from Cyrano.
He always does.
Saying, "It comes to me from all sides that I am jeered at, that..."
Edwin passed out early this afternoon, Danny. It's turning into the kind of day when I might end up with nothing. Right, Danny?
From August 1st, 1954, Broadway is My Beat on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Now on Classic Radio Theater, more of Broadway is My Beat starring Larry Thor from August 1st, 1954.
We now continue with Broadway's My Beat, written by Morton Fine and David Friedkin, and starring Larry Thor as Detective Danny Clover.
In the high blaze of summer, Broadway walks soft and slow. The dream walk, the careless walk, rhythm to a regret for things that have not yet been. Because other summers have flowed in this street, and other winds, and in their ebb, the erratic gutter dance of the litter of the season. Snapshot of the tennis girl whose hair was braided and who was summer love. Snapshot torn in half, then torn again, and once more. The phone number scrawled in lipstick on a barroom napkin that rang on emptiness. No answer, the code for last summer. But this time it'll be different. So walk into it, but soft. And at headquarters, a room of 1,000 transients. Room where interrogations are made and motives poised and concern shown.
Where's Edwin? What'd you do to him?
Booked him, put him in the drunk tank, Mrs. Decker.
A kid like that? Drinks with a lady, gets a little high, ends in a heap in a drunk tank. Too bad.
Where'd you meet a boy like that?
Don't get subtle with me. Don't say boy to me.
I just asked you where you'd met him.
On Coney. Middle of May. I was sitting there. He came up and asked if he could talk to me. I said, sure, talk to me.
You kill your husband, Mrs. Decker?
Just right out. Did you kill your husband, Mrs. Decker? It's going to be like that, huh?
Uh-huh.
No, I did not kill my husband. I don't know who did. I don't know why he suddenly got that important, so...
Mrs. Decker.
Let me finish. I gave the desk sergeant where I live. So if you ever want to chat some more about young men or about the dead, come around, because I'm not going anyplace. Okay?
Yeah, for now. Like you said, Mrs. Decker, don't go anyplace. At the door she stopped, looked back at me. And chemistry that is in summer light lay against her face and sped youth across it. Her hands went to the back of her throat, stroked back her hair. She opened her mouth to speak, and there was no sound. Then she turned and left. It took 4 hours to find him, to find the man I was looking for, needed to talk to. Man of all trades, man on the move, man of shouts and man of whispers. Listener and purveyor of Broadway's secrets, Benny Fane. Hawaiian sport shirt, beer in hand, leaning gracefully against the jukebox of Maury's 3rd Avenue Bar and Grill.
Be my guest, Danny. Take this quarter from me. Buy yourself whatever dream music your heart desires.
You're doing fine, huh, Benny?
Oh,
Hawaiian sport shirt, free with 2-bit pieces?
Hey, this shirt's a present.
From whom, Benny?
What are you implying, Danny? I heisted it, I crimped it off a rack at a garment center?
You said it was a present.
If it wasn't, would it fit so well? The shoulders through here tailored to my measure, Danny? On the insistence of a young woman who was grateful for me for... Say, you ain't been looking for me for 4 hours, Danny, just to ask how come I wear silk.
No.
Floyd Decker, huh?
Uh-huh. Anything you've heard that...
I didn't hear. I saw him.
When?
3 or 4 nights ago, prior to his river bit.
Well, go on.
Floyd finds me by asking around by methods just like you did.
Danny.
No hard feelings, Danny. I'm telling you the bit. What happened? Floyd finds me, asks me where's the crap game. The big crap game. Right off, I laughs in his face.
Why?
Well, first, how would I know where's the crap game? Second, if I knew and such things were truly happening around Broadway, crap games, what would Floyd Decker be using for scratch, for juice, for bankroll? Floyd the beggar? Floyd the panhandler? Well, you could have knocked me down with a... Well, I'm giving you the bit, Danny. Floyd flashes a roll at least as fat as 5 G's. He let me feel it. Yeah, it was 5 G's. My eyes open very wide. I say, where you get charity like this, Floyd? Floyd says, where's that crap game? And I say, I don't know, Floyd. I swear. Well, he leaves. Next whisper on the breeze about this remarks. Floyd blew the juice, lost it. The whole 5,000. So I guess he was able to find a crap game without my help. That's the bit, Danny. And if you ever want a Hawaiian shirt, I know exactly
Sure you do. Thanks, Benny. I'll see you around.
Good morning, Danny.
Good morning, Gino.
Early morning and already a scorcher.
Gino, do something for me.
Mrs. T often says to me, it would seem, Mr. Sergeant Tartaglia, you were put on Earth for the sole purpose of doing things for your Danny
Call
Cole.
downstairs. Get Edwin Hempel released to my custody. Have them bring him up here.
No sooner said. Morning, Detective Muggerman. Pardon, but I am on a mission for Danny Clover, and the pleasantries...
Yeah, I understand, Gino. All right, Danny, what's Gino's mission?
Bringing the Hempel kid up here.
Oh, that story Benny Fane gave you?
Yeah, what about it?
I did what you told me. Walked Broadway, stopped a few people, asked questions.
Well?
It checks out. What Benny Fane told you checks out. Floyd Decker lost $5,000 in a crap game.
You know where the game
No,
was?
and I'll tell you why. Because it was explained to me by several persons at Broadway like this. The heat and the humidity, they do something to the brain cells, especially the memory valves.
No one remembers where the game was, is that it?
That's right. They wouldn't tell me. I brought him down here. I said, in this cooler atmosphere, maybe their memory valves would...
anyone know where Decker got the 5,000?
That they don't know for sure. They don't know how a broken-down panhandling bum got 5,000 together. All I know is he lost it and left the game and...
In here, Edwin. This way to see Danny Clover.
Well, that's all, Gino. Thanks. Sit here, Edwin. Well, this is Detective Muggerman.
Hey, Edwin, how do you feel? I asked.
I heard you.
Well, then answer me. How do you feel?
Hungover? Dirty? Ashamed? Now, you'll answer me something?
What?
Mrs. Decker, Alma. What did you do with Alma? What kind of...
You like her a lot, don't you, Edwin? Maybe it's the wrong word. Maybe I should have said you love her.
Still not the right word.
Not like, not love? Give us the right word, Edwin.
I worship her. I worship the ground she walks on. I adore. You know the literal meaning of the word adore?
Mrs. Decker's over 40, Edwin, over twice your age.
40 years old. So she said twice as long to get twice as lonely as...
As you, Edwin?
First day I saw her, very first day, I said to myself, there's a very lonely and a very beautiful woman. She has solitude, and there is sorrow on her brow.
Well, this was at Coney Island.
A week I watched her. How she came to the beach, in beauty, all by herself. Men tried to get fresh. She'd say something. They'd go away like their mouths had been struck.
But she didn't send you away.
No. I know why.
Why?
Because the kind of woman Alma is. Because she saw right away I was offering my heart at her feet. And my soul. If you knew the life of sorrow and bitterness that woman had led.
Tell us about it, Edwin.
What it was to be married to a man who had been glorious and was now a shell, a ruin.
You mean she hated Floyd? Hated him because he was a bum, a beggar, and once he was...
No, not hatred. But bound to him and chained. Because once she had been Caesar's wife, faithful and loyal. And she's still...
Now get off it, will you, Edwin? I didn't have my year in college, so get off it. Just tell us.
That's simple, really, what I'm telling you. Alma was married to a man who was once a sort of king, who fell in favor. But still, Alma was his wife. all he had left of his riches. And therefore Alma was unapproachable and lonely and must sit on a swarming, infested beach with a ridiculous young man. I told her how to get out of it, though. How she could rid herself of it.
Rid herself of Floyd?
And I know the formula with which you gain freedom.
Go on.
You buy it.
And the conclusion of Broadway is My Beat, the Floyd Decker Murder Case, August 1st, 1954, follows these important words from your favorite radio station here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
You ever make a change and then think, why didn't I do this years ago? Well, that's how people feel about switching to Medishare for their health care, especially now with inflation the way it is. People are very happy with the savings. Most families save about $500 a month when they switch. It's a huge help when prices are going up so fast in so many other areas. And Medishare's customer satisfaction rate is double that of health insurance. It's just a different experience, and people really like that. Medishare is an alternative to health insurance. It's a community of Christians who share each other's healthcare bills, and it's been going strong for over 25 years. It really is the gold standard, the most trusted name in healthcare sharing. Find out why people love it, find out why they rave about the customer service, and find out how good it feels to save some money right now. They're super easy to talk to. Here's the number, 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE, 833-34-BIBLE.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, the conclusion of Broadway is My Beat, starring Larry Thor, the Floyd Decker Murder Case, August 1st, 1954.
You get money and buy it. I told Alma, and she thought it a splendid idea and said she knew where to get money to buy herself from Floyd.
There's another way to get free from someone.
You mean to kill him? No. It was much simpler to buy it. Especially if he's a beggar like Floyd was, like...
Yeah. You want to see Alma, Edwin?
Of course.
Come on. I'll take you to her.
Yes,
Hello, dear.
You hurt? They hurt you?
No, dear.
Oh, stop that. Stop that dear business.
Mind if we come in?
Come on. You don't want a drink, do you, Edwin?
You wouldn't let me. Would you let me?
No. Just sit down.
I said to you once, Danny, I said you want to chat about young men or about the dead to come around. Is that what you're doing now?
That's right.
Which?
Both.
Well, I'll sit over here and rest elbows on knees and chin in hand and listen.
Edmund told me about the kind of life you had with Floyd.
How he was a fallen Caesar.
Ain't he a kick, that Edwin?
Well, he was, kind of. Well, he was.
Whatever he was, Mrs. Decker, was pretty rough, huh?
That what you heard?
But he didn't work.
Yet he was a bum. Your husband was a bum, Alma. Whatever he might have been in the old days, truly, he was a bum.
He went to college, he ought to know.
Then how did your husband get $5,000?
What?
Before he died, that's the amount of money your husband suddenly had.
Well?
Where'd he get it?
A man like him?
A man like him.
With his connections?
He didn't have a connection in the world.
The people he knew, and you say he didn't have connections.
Let's try it this way, Mrs. Decker. Where did you get the $5,000 to give to your husband?
Who said I gave him
My
$5?
tongue slipped there. I blurted it out.
Bless your heart.
What harm?
No harm at all, Edwin. I wanted your heart blessed.
Well, then, dear, I also told them what for.
Edwin said you tried to buy off your husband.
Oh, I did. I gave him the money. He said he'd never bother me again.
He lost it all in the crap game.
He said he was going away with the money. He could buy himself a steak and a small setup in Vegas. Instead, he finds a crap game in a garage off Broadway.
When he came back here and started to plead and whine, that's when I walked in and stuck him in the back with a knife.
Get him. Get the collegians.
Is that the way it happened?
What do you want from me?
Don't you tell him anything. Listen, you, I stabbed him in the back.
He wants to be a hero. Listen.
What?
Everything. All of it's turned away now, anyhow. He came back, he fell on his knees, and he cried like a baby. Like he's been doing ever since he's out of Leavenworth. Recalling the old days. And then he came for me. It was the scissors.
Where'd you get the money?
Mike Paulus. In court, I'll swear it wasn't. My husband says to me...
You know what he had the nerve to say to her? Honey, it's so easy for you to get all that money, get more. How do you like that?
And this one's what I'm left with. This little nothing with his 1 year at business college to buy me cheese sandwiches, to drive me around in a 29 car.
Don't believe her.
Oh?
He wants you to know that besides the cheese sandwiches, he helped me throw my husband in the river. Didn't you, Edwin?
Yes, I did, dear.
Yes, I did, dear. Here's what I got, Danny. Now put us away.
In the minutes before dawn, Broadway lies huddled in a dreamless sleep. And the silent street is a part of it. The long night, the time of no stars, and the muted wind. And then from far away, listen. The whispers gather and take away the night. It's Broadway, the gaudiest, the most violent, and the lonesomest mile in the world. Broadway, my beat.
The makers of Double Mint Chewing Gum hope you enjoyed tonight's story and that you are enjoying delicious Double Mint Gum every day. Broadway's My Beat, brought to you by Double Mint Chewing Gum, is produced and directed by Elliott Lewis, with music composed and conducted by Alexander Courage. The program is written by Morton Fine and David Friedkin and stars Larry Thor as Detective Danny Clover, with Charles Calvert as Tartaglia and Jack Crucian as Muggavan. In tonight's story, Kathy Lewis was heard as Alma, Lee Millar as Edwin, Sheldon Leonard as Mike, and Leo Cleary as Benny. Bill Anders speaking.
August 1st, 1954, Broadway is My Beat on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Well, I hope we're going to make Bill happy again today with another episode of The Adventures of Jungle Jim. This episode originally broadcast the weekend of August 1st, 1936.
Presenting the adventures of Jungle Jim. Last week, in order to give his air and land forces an opportunity to practice their maneuvers in the proposed assault on the Chinese capital, Derek Bluger staged a sham battle on his own fortified camp. In the midst of the attack, Shanghai Lil spied the horse returning with Lynn Chalmers still tied to his back, and no sign of Jungle Jim. Bluger immediately called off the maneuvers and sent Lynn back into the hills on another horse. Next morning, Jungle Jim spied Lynn, and just as Bluger expected, he couldn't resist the impulse to go to her rescue. The thrilling adventures of Jungle Jim are pictured each Sunday in the Comic Weekly, the world's greatest pictorial supplement of humor and adventure. The Comic Weekly, each page printed in full colors, is distributed everywhere as an integral part of your Hearst Sunday newspaper. And now we continue our story. Upon making the discovery that the figure tied on the horse is a white girl, Jungle Jim and Kolo dash from their hiding place in the cave.
It's a white girl, bound and gagged. Kolo, come on. We've got to save her. Yes, Etwan, Jim. Kolo, come. Grab the horse's bridle, Kolo. I'll release the girl.
Yes, Etwan. Kolo, do.
Don't worry, miss. We'll Lynn Chalmers. What are you... Well, I guess you can't answer any questions until I get that gag off. Hold the horse, Kolo.
Yes, Etwan, Jim.
Just you hold out for a minute or two, Lynn, and I'll have you freed. Boy, I'd like to get my hands on the person who did this to you. Why, heaven only knows how long you might have roamed around these hills if we hadn't seen you.
Was him all tired, Juan.
Must have come quite a ways, eh, Lynn? There's the rope off your ankles. Now just lean over toward me and I'll get you down. That's it. Swing your foot over now. There. Now I'll get that gag off you. There, how's that?
Much better. Oh, Jim.
Here, take it easy, Lynn. Don't let it get you down. Everything's going to be all right.
But, Jim...
But nothing. You just take it easy for a while. I'm dying to know what you're doing out here, of course, but that can keep. Bring the horse over by our cave, Colo.
Jim, you
Don't be silly, Lynn. What's a friend for if he can't help out? Of course, when we spied you, we could only see that you were a white girl. We had no idea it was the daughter of my best friend.
You don't understand, Jim.
I understand that you were in a tough spot and needed help, and that's enough for me. Now, here, take a swallow from this canteen. It'll do you good. Boy, your throat must be as dry as a cuttlefish bone.
It is.
That's the girl.
Oh, thanks, Jim. That was most refreshing. But
Here, now, what did I tell you? Now, listen, Lynn. We'll make for that big cave over there. You see, Cole and I are traveling by night and hiding by day. We don't want to risk being sighted by the Purple Triangle sentries.
What, Jim?
Huh? What is it, Colo?
Soldiers. Bluger soldiers.
Where?
Up there, on top hill. Look.
So there are. And up there on that side, too.
that's what I've been trying to tell you. Jim, you walked into a trap. Save yourself.
At that very moment, back at the fortified hideout of Derek Bluger, Shanghai Lil is having a chat with Lin Poo.
It's too bad that Chalmers girl broke up the big show yesterday, Lin Poo. That was the only excitement we've had around here since I arrived.
You will see many more practice attacks, Shanghai Lil, before our most high superior give order to take over national government.
Why will I?
Derek Bluger must have everything just so before he make move. You hear him say, perfect timing make for success?
Yes, I remember. And he also said, one little mistake, and it means our next. You haven't forgotten that happy thought.
No, Shanghai Lil, I have not forgotten. I knew what lay ahead of us when I joined the Purple Triangle organization.
You mean you only knew what Derek told you?
Eh?
How do you know he isn't holding out something on us, Lin Poo?
Derek Bluger is man of his word.
Is he?
You doubt our most high superior?
I certainly do.
Shanghai Lil, do you realize what you are saying?
Yes, the truth.
This is treason.
Now, wait a minute, Lin Poo. Don't fly off the handle and get all puffed up like a powder pigeon.
What?
Listen here. Every member of the Purple Triangle is an outlaw.
Oh.
Granted, some were outlaws before they joined up. But even if they weren't, they are now. That's true, isn't it?
Well...
Well, there are no laws for outlaws. To question one's superior anywhere else but here would be treason, I know that. But when you're in the position we are, Lin Poo, you've got to look out for number one.
I do not quite understand.
I mean, each one of us has to look out for himself. That's what Derek Bluger is doing, and don't you forget it.
Our most high superior thinks only of cause.
Oh, now, honestly, Lin Poo, I gave you credit for more sense than that.
Well, I...
Maybe you don't know Derek as well as I do. I know him from way back. Believe me, I knew him when.
Yes?
You've got to watch him like a hawk. While he's shaking hands with you, he's got a knife in the other one ready to cut your throat.
Shanghai Lil.
Oh, stop trying to act so shocked. This isn't any secret. Everybody knows that about Derek. At least, everybody but you. And what's more, Derek knows everybody's wise to him.
I'm very much surprised to hear this, Shanghai Lil.
Yeah, I know how you feel. I felt that way myself once. Only worse.
If Derek Bluger does not mean to overthrow national government...
Now, wait a minute. Who said he doesn't?
But you said...
All I said was you've got to watch Derek like a hawk. Of course he really means to overthrow the government.
Ah.
But if his scheme fails, you can bet your best uniform that he'll wriggle himself free and leave you holding the bag.
Holding bag?
Let you take the blame.
I?
Sure. You're his right-hand man, aren't you?
I have honor to be second in command.
And you're going to have the honor of being the first to take the punishment if Derek's scheme fails.
What?
What's that under your patent leather hair?
This is very great foolishness, this talk. Our cause will not fail.
Okay, General. But if the cannon should backfire on you, don't say I didn't warn you.
I cannot quite believe what you say.
I suppose you've never thought about it.
To tell truth, no.
Well, think about it now.
Many thanks, Shanghai Lil.
And, as they print in theater programs, Lin Poo, look around now and pick the nearest exit. Oh, Derek.
Most High Superior.
Lin Poo, Lil, we're in luck.
How so, Most High Superior?
Yes, how come, Derek? Has the national government suddenly decided to abdicate for you?
Almost, Lil. If things continue to go the way they are, all we'll have to do is to sit tight and the control of the government of China will fall into our laps.
Our laps, Most High Superior.
Was I addressing you, Lin Poo?
No, but I thought...
Well, stop thinking so much. That's my job. Carrying out my orders is your job. Remember that.
Yes, Most High Superior.
Derek, you really meant our laps. Yours and mine.
Haven't I said you'd be the White Empress of China?
Yes, but don't you think this is not quite the time or the
All right.
place?
Don't worry. I'm not going to Romeo it just now. We've got more important things to discuss.
As, for example?
This news I've just received by radio. The Canton government has threatened war against the Nanking government.
Most High Superior, if this is true, then all we have to do is wait for civil war, step in, and take over reins in name of Purple Triangle.
If it's true, I tell you it is true. According to my agent in Shanghai, Guangxi authorities have declared a state of defense at Kuailan.
Kuailan. Where's that, Derek?
I'll show you on this map. You see? Here's Kuailan, near the border of Yunnan province. It's in this province that Generalissimo Wang Gufao, the head of the Nanking government, has concentrated his military forces.
Why, Most High Superior?
Why? You're a general in Poo, can't you see? To stop the onward march of the Canton government troops.
What's all the marching for?
Well, it seems that the Guangxi and the Guangdong provinces are trying to force the hand of the Chinese national government.
I see. But maybe it's all a bluff, Derek.
I hardly think so, Lil. They've ordered all Chinese women and children to leave Guangxi. This time, they mean business.
We mean business too, do we not, Most High Superior?
Of course we do. Who said we didn't?
Oh, Lin Fu's just itching to lead the Purple Triangle Army into war, Derek. Can't you see the glint of battle in his eyes? When will you loose the dogs of war?
And I have some more men and equipment. I daren't make a move until my Purple Triangle Army has reached the maximum enrollment.
But I thought we were all ready, Most High Superior.
What have I told you about thinking? I'll make all the plans around here. That brain of yours will get lame if you try to use a Lin Po. It's been idle so long.
Most High Superior.
Fool, what do you mean by bursting in like this?
Excuse, please, Most High Superior, but strange squadron of airplanes flying over headquarters.
What?
Open window, Most High Superior. You see?
Open the window, Lin Po. 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. 12 bombers. Why, they're government planes. Let me get on that phone. Hang Yen, start a smoke screen at once. Order our air forces to stand by to repel an attack. I'll be right out to take charge. Come on, Lin Po.
Yes, at once.
Wait for me.
I haven't time to bother with you, Lil. There's plenty of work to be done.
Oh, you won't have to bother with me. I came up here for excitement, and I aim to be around when it happens.
All right, but don't get under my feet.
Look how low they're flying.
Yes, but there goes the smoke screen.
Most High Superior, here comes one plane right at us.
It's going to drop a bomb. Run for your lives. In here.
Shut the door, Derek. It didn't drop a bomb. It dropped a package.
Go bring that package to me, Lin Po.
At once, Most High Superior.
Thank goodness that screen's getting thicker by the minute. This package may be a demand for us to surrender. By the time Lin Po gets back here with it, those bombers will have lost sight of us.
Your package, Most High Superior.
Give it here. We'll find out what they want.
Oh, Derek, look out. It may be one of those new type bombs. They don't explode immediately on hitting the ground.
Yes, you may be right, Lil. Here, Lin Po, you open this package. What is it, Lin Po?
A note wrapped around a weight, Most High Superior.
Note, let me have it.
But certainly, Most High Superior. Here is note.
What does the note say, Derek?
Yensing! Hung Yen! Turn off that smoke screen, you fools!
What had happened, Most High Superior?
Yes, for heaven's sake, Derek, don't keep us in jittery suspense. What does the note say?
Those bombing planes are being flown by deserters from the Canton Air Force.
What?
They're offering to join us if we'll let them. Will we? Come to us, my little war birdies! Come to us!
Out in Tsuling Pass, Jungle Jim attempts to follow Lin's warning and save not only himself, but his two companions. Keeping close to the rocks, they make their way in the direction of Bluger's camp.
Oh, why didn't you listen to me, Jim? Bluger sent me to bring you out of hiding. He'll capture you.
Well, if Bluger thought you would aid in capturing me, his scheme has failed. Instead, you've warned me of my danger.
Yes, I told him I'd do just that.
And he still sent you after me?
Yes. He said I'd better not try any tricks on him, that he meant to get you, dead or alive.
Oh, then you're only a part of his plan to get me. What's the rest of it?
That cavalry squadron who followed me, Jim. That's how he expected to capture you.
Well, we've eluded them so far, haven't we?
Yes, but they know these hills better than we do, Jim.
What, Jim? Huh? Look, the soldiers. What?
Oh, Jim, we're lost.
Hey, Fix, Tolo, shoot them.
No, don't shoot, Tolo. We're trapped all right. If we put up a fight now, they'll fill us with lead.
The plan of Derek Bluger, self-styled Napoleon of the Orient, has worked to perfection. Jungle Jim, Kolo, and Lynn Chalmers are captured and led to his stronghold. The adventures you have just heard dramatized are pictured in full-color action pictures in the Comic Weekly, the big Comic Weekly distributed with your Hearst Sunday newspaper everywhere. In the world's greatest pictorial supplement of humor and adventure, you will find all the famous characters who live in the world of color pictures. There's Skippy, Bringing Up Father, the Katzenjammer Kids, Barney Google, Flash Gordon, Toots and Casper, and many, many others. Don't forget our date next week, same time, same station, for a continuation of the adventures of Jungle Jim.
Broadcast the weekend of August 1st, 1936, The Adventures of Jungle Jim, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. And just like Bill, you can contact me through classicradio.stream. Let me know the shows you enjoy, and I'll be more than happy to try to find some for you and shout you out with it. You can do that through my webpage, classicradio.stream. That is classicradio.stream. You can stream all of our shows there on demand. You can learn more about classic radio collecting. You can find a listing of all the places where our shows are available via podcast. You can contact me, find our social media links, and if you enjoy what we do, you can return the favor by buying me a coffee. Now, I don't drink coffee, I drink Dr. Pepper. And a lot of water right now because it's hot. But I will also tell you that money that goes to buy me a coffee, that goes to finding new, great classic radio theater shows. Either new shows we've never aired before, unlocated copies, because copies are still being discovered up till this day, and even better quality shows. So you can do that all through my webpage, classicradio.stream. Thank this station, support their advertisers, tell your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite station.